doing that. But also, I need to mention the community effort, because all the way through this period, we haven't been inactive really. So, thank you to everybody who got involved in the charity appeal that we did. I think last time I checked, £6,600 raised. Applause to all of you who contributed or got involved. Players, fans, so many people got involved in so many different ways. But a big shout out to Nick Hutt, who organised that. Thank you, Nick. And to the pastors, of course, to Nikki Hayes taking the photos, to everybody who's been down there, and it's helped so much in the community. I know that for a fact. So thank you all, and we'll continue to do that. That's part of our community effort. Hello, Jamie.
Oh, hi.
Hello, mate.
How are we?
We're all right.
Come on, I don't know how to use these things, so do I need to mute?
No, you just need to shut up, mate. No, it's so everybody else is on mute, but you can stay off mute, mate, because you'll be on in a few minutes. Don't you worry about it. But Jamie was there today as part of the group, delivering stuff to the food bank. So again, very much appreciated, and particularly Jake Robinson, who travelled a long way to do that today. Talked about season tickets. Things are moving forwards now, and it's the planning that I now want to move on to, because we've got a lot of stuff that we want to do next season. Obviously, the big thing, and you've all seen photos of that, I hope, or some people I know have been down and peeked round the doors to look at that work that's happening on the main pitch. And to be honest, I've been amazed at how quickly all that's come together. They really have cracked on with that. And the time-lapse camera that we've got down there that you'll be seeing footage of, Nikki's good work, it's really moving at pace. And I think were we in the third week? Are we about to start the third week? Certainly week 4, having done all that levelling work that's been going on, week 4 is when the carpet goes down. So I love referring to it as a carpet. It makes it sound like a snooker pitch, Jamie. You and the guys and the rest of the teams can go out there and play snooker on that pitch. But it's as a carpet, what a difference that's going to make. I'm sure Jamie will want to talk about that in a bit, as others will. But that's real progress. And we have decided, we could have made the decision not to move forward with that, to be honest. It's a big investment at a time when nobody's really sure when the season's going to start again. Certainly at the point where we decided to do that, there was no certainty about it. So it's a good thing. It's going to secure revenue for the club. Our strategy here was always to make us self-sustaining, to have a club that was going to be there for the future, but also to make it a base for the teams that we've got. And this is the first step in that direction. And that pitch should be finished by the end of July, which is brilliant. And hopefully that will be in good time for training to start and for us to be able to start using it. So many more photos to come on that, and we'll keep you appraised of progress on that. And we'll keep the second pitch under review as we move forward and find out more about how this is all going to kind of shake out over the next few weeks. Work around the ground as well. I'm going to say this carefully because we may or may not have painted certain elements of it that may have needed painting. You can read into that whatever you want, but there is a freshness that's going around that stadium now as we're starting to do work for next season. I'll let the guys talk about some of the work that we're doing on the different teams and different parts of the group that's going to be playing football next season. But whenever it happens, in whatever format it happens, that ground's going to be ready to go for whenever it is that we can start resuming football again. So I think that's a very positive thing, and you'll see a nice fresh look around most of that. Kit. I was going to mention kit. So there will be 2 new kits next season, new home and new away kit, details of which will be revealed because you can't have it all in one go. But we have been negotiating on what that looks like. We now know what that is. We'll be looking to roll that out across what will be 50 teams next season. With the growth in the pathway, we focus a lot on the first teams, but wow, 50 teams next season playing under the Billericay banner. That's a complete pathway on both the boys to men and the girls to women's side, and it's fantastic stuff. And the more we can pull people into the new lodge area, to the stadium, to make it a base, the more we can keep growing the pathway, the more we can keep bringing players through to the first teams, the better this is going to be as a community club. So that's that. There is a bit about the kit that I can mention, because as the Supporters Society, I can see a couple of you on here already, and I'm sure there are more on here. You had a vote, and I can say that the outcome of that vote was that we would go back to the old badge. In fact, anybody who can see Nick Hutt's window here will see, I think that's the old badge you've got behind you, Nick, isn't it? Just wave if it isn't it. You're on mute. But anyway, we are going back to, it is the old badge behind you, Nick, isn't it?
It's the NHS badge.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it's because your shoulders are in the way, mate. I can't see that part of it. But we are going back to the old badge, which was what the majority wanted. And so that will be as part of the new kit going forwards next season as well. So that's all good stuff. Jamie, you've gone on mute now, but you can come off now, mate. Just wondered if you wanted to say a few words about the first team, your preparation, the way things are you're looking at it for next season, those kind of stuff, mate. Well, how's your preparation going?
Yeah, hi everyone. Preparation obviously has been difficult at the minute because, as everyone knows, it's a difficult time in terms of we don't know when we're coming back. So we have we've been sort of working more on the management side of a new management team that I've put in place for next season, which I've now finalised with everyone, and you're going to be really proud and happy about what I've done, and all will be revealed. I think we'll be doing a big sort of reveal on that, but it's going to be a fantastic management team next season. Well done to the guys and the owners for getting that over the line for me, because I think it's going to take the club to another level in terms of where we're at already. So in terms of the first team, we've got 4 contracted players who are signed on for next season. Ron Henry, Jake Robinson, Doug Loft and Alan Julian. They're all going to be at the club next season. They're on contracts, which is, they're 4 integral parts of the team and being good players for us. So they'll be on board. We're looking at, we've got a whole host of targets in terms of who we're trying to look at and who we're trying to get. The only issue that we've got at the minute is we don't know when we're going to start back. So we've got a lot of players and a list of targets who we want to bring to the football club, and it is a rebuild, and it will be a new team and a new fresh team. But it's just when we can kind of confirm to the players and to everyone that we know we're going to start back. But we're working on a plan A and a plan B. But exciting times. We're going to have I think we can have a really good, a good side to compete. It's going to be difficult because we don't know where we're going to, in terms of when we're going to start back and fans in the ground and all that. So it's still up in the air, but there's a whole host of players available, and with the management team that I've put together, with the help of the owners getting them on board, it's going to be a fantastic setup.
Jamie, John Lynn says, when can you tell us that, Jamie? That's the new management team. I reckon that's probably a few weeks away yet, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, probably a couple of weeks away, just on the new guy who's coming in, who will be assistant manager. There will be a new assistant manager. Gifton is leaving us, so I can confirm that Gifton is leaving. So we'll have a new assistant manager come in, someone I've wanted to work with for a long time. A good friend of mine, a very, very experienced international player. So he's going to be coming in.
That was enough of a tease, mate, I think.
Yeah, so been a bit of a tease.
I know who it is, and I'm excited.
Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be fantastic. And he actually come to us and wanted to be part of what we were doing. He saw what I was doing, and I had good discussions with him about it. But he can't. He's still at a club at the minute and under contract, so he can't obviously reveal that we're taking him on board for next season, because he hasn't left that club officially yet. But it's all been confirmed, and everything will come out soon, and it's going to be fantastic for us.
Great stuff. Thanks, mate. You'll all get a chance to ask Jamie questions later anyway, Just moving quickly through the different groups, though. Rob Dowman, Rob, do you want to come off mute and just talk about 23s and 18s? Obviously, new sides this season. Maybe you can't come off mute. Do sign language, Rob. Is it all looking good?
Guys, it won't be any surprise to you, Greg, that I'm struggling with the technology. So apologies for that, guys. Welcome all. It's my second fans forum. If only I knew what I knew now on a number of levels, eh? Yeah, the 18s and 23s, as I mentioned to you last time, it's not building a football team, it's building an infrastructure, which is why I'm heavily involved. To be really clear, as I think I've mentioned to a few of you, that won't be a permanent thing for me to be so active. But, you know, we've got a blank canvas here. It's really important for the future of the club that we build things properly. The start of that jigsaw, some of you will have seen, we announced the arrival of Martin Thurston with Paul Moody's as assistant of the 18s. They bring with them the current or the under-18 Bowers team from last year, which if any of you follow the season was yet to be completed. We're sitting pretty at the top of the league and having, I believe, won the league the previous year in the guise of Brentwood Town and also reached the County Cup final. So they're bringing a good squad of boys. So that'd be an excellent start for us. The 23s and the 18s have also advertised on the website. We've got a great deal of interest, which we only expect to increase nearer the time. So things are moving along very well. We're going to be bringing some excellent coaches in that are currently in the club and outside of the club. We're working obviously closely with Jamie. The 23s, he's going to be there for him really. Whether that be for bringing guys back to fitness, trialling players, etc., etc. The team will be in a league, but it'll be either a development squad or something that's, as I say, a tool for Jamie to either bring players back to fitness or look at guys on the way up. So, I would say with or without Corona, we're ahead of where we anticipated being at this stage. I'm really excited about the strength of the 18 squad that's come over, and we're getting some really good characters in the building. So, yeah, we're ahead of time. It's an awkward time because I think we would have liked to have used, if we're honest, the back end of the season just gone to see a lot of games, target some players. So we are relying more on word of mouth than we would have liked, again, in all honesty. But certainly with the 18s we have, we believe that we're going in the right direction. This year, this is not about building the team for this year. Of course, we'll have one, but it's a process and getting the infrastructure in place to serve the club for many years to come. And I know you guys feel the same as all we do as owners, that nothing would give us more pleasure than to see some local guys, even some Colts, playing in the first team. That's our ultimate target. And in fairness to Jamie, I have to say he's bought into that totally. So very exciting times.
Thanks, Rob. Brilliant stuff. Nick, that probably leads nicely into the Colts and a couple of new teams this season.
Yeah, lots of new teams as usual, Greg. I think this year we'll be running just over 40 teams. So we're running somewhere between 3 and 5 teams in each age group, from under 7s up through to under 16s, 17s, and then obviously progression now into 18s, 23s, and hopefully the first team. Everybody at the Colts super excited about the developments on the pitch side, the potential opportunities for training there, playing matches there. So really, really excited about that and becoming a much closer part of the football club. I think historically it's probably fair to say that a lot of people in the Colts felt like we shared the name of the football club, but it was somewhat limited to that. I think everybody's now super excited and feels really, really, to be a strong part of the football club. You mentioned kits earlier. Everybody, all of it's decided now. All of the Colts will play in the first team kit which will make them feel even more like a part of the football club, which is fantastic. So everybody's really excited. I think on the sort of flip side to that, we normally run our tournament at the start of May. This year it was scheduled for May 2nd, 3rd. It's clearly had to be deferred. We've pushed it now to early September. Thankfully, the vast majority of the entrants agreed to roll their entrance to early September. Whether it happens or not remains to be seen, but we'll still try to push that forward. As you said, I think this time of year, is normally the time of year when we're starting to plan for the new season, ordering new kits, running trials, building new teams. So we're trying very much to keep those things going. You would have seen, a lot of you will have seen anyway on Twitter, the adverts for players, etc. We've had huge amount of interest as usual, despite the fact that, on our doorstep now we have #United and these other teams coming around, but the general view is a lot of the kids still want to play for a proper football club, Billericay Town. So that's all super positive. And on the flip side, we've been able to access some of the government funding for pitches, etc. Which has been really, really helpful. So yeah, things really looking up, Greg.
Thanks, Nick. Brilliant stuff. Kim, I can't see you, but I'm sure you're on here somewhere.
Yeah, definitely on here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Do you want to give us a quick rundown of the exciting stuff on the women's and girls side?
Yeah, I will do. First of all, I just want to actually say how great it is to see everybody on the call. It's like having all the family back. So even though some of you are looking slimmer, especially Rich Man, keep that going. Really proud of you. But it's really nice to see you all. Update on the women's and girls section. We're going to be running 3 senior women's teams. So we've retained the 3 ladies teams. Pleased to say that we've retained a majority of our players. We've actually got some of the youngsters that go off to the States as part of their academy progression. And I just want to actually congratulate Lindsay Morgan, who's actually pregnant and is due to actually have the baby in October. So we've retained majority of our players, which is fantastic news. So the 3 senior ladies teams, women's teams, you've got the first team which plays at step 4. You've got the reserve team, which plays at step 5. Our development team, where hopefully they will be moving from step 7 to step 6, which means that they'll be moving into the regional level, but we find that out at the end of May. Under 16s, we're going to be running 6 girls teams, which is absolutely fantastic. Like the Colts, really proud of the achievement of what the younger age groups do. So we've got an under 10, under 12, under 13, under 14, under 15 and under 16. And as Nick alluded to, open training and trial registration details are all on the club website, which is absolutely fantastic. There's consistency and it's about us all being part of one club. Any younger players, I'm working with Mick Lowe from the Colts, so we can support mixed football at that younger age group. So again, it's about the women's and girls actually working closely with the Colts. So that's absolutely fantastic. A few changes. So for our first team and our reserve side, we've got new management teams. So we've got Scott Chickleday and Ray Wells that will be taking the helm for the first team. And we've got Ryman Farrell, Abigail Saxon that will actually be leading the helm for the reserve. So that's absolutely fantastic. My thanks to all the coaches, managers and therapists this season, because we really did actually have a great season from our section. For our development team, I'll be looking to recruit a manager and a coach. So all inquiries for that, if you know of anybody that's be interested, if they can send any, requests to me at the club at info@Billericay Town. That leads me on to obviously my new role, which is going to be the head of women's and girls section. Now that is really to support all of the managers, coaches and teams and help to drive the club forward, the female section of the club forward alongside with the Colts, etc. What's important for me as well is to also build stronger ties with the St James Swifts, women in Ireland, which I think is really important. We've got that link with St James Swifts, which I think we could really grow stronger. So I'm looking really forward to that. For our section, it's exciting times, and you know, as always, you know my passion for this club anyway, but I can't wait to get the season started. But my final thing is what I always do, and that's really just to thank you, the supporters who come to watch the ladies, and all the positive support that you give us on social media. It really is appreciated. It means a lot to the players, and it means a lot to me. Now I'm looking forward to actually taking this section forward and making more memories as a club. Yeah, let's make memories. Let's be proud of it. And that's it.
Kim, where are the women's first team going to be in 2 to 3 years' time?
Oh, we're going to take them to that championship, aren't we, Greg?
We are. Good answer. Dave, do you want to say anything, mate? I'm very aware that we've got about 3 or 4 minutes before we just pause for people to do the 8 o'clock clap. We'll do that and then we'll come back and take questions. But anything from either yourself or Alex?
Yeah, basically, as most of it's been said, to be honest, from the rest of you, is talking about the different teams coming through and where we are. Basically, the overall philosophy of what we put this together for is to keep the club as one. When basically we got together, myself, Rob, Alex, Greg and Nick, it was to basically unite Billericay as a club, which I think we've done now. As Nick says, basically about getting all the teams to play under one banner and also wear the same kit. I think it's very important to show you youth that will be a part, to have an opportunity to basically grow through the teams to hopefully one day play for their main club, which is the first team at Billericay Town. There's a lot going on. I'm not there basically in Billericay at the moment, hence why you haven't seen me around. And the boys have done a really, really good job basically at the assist to town and basically be at the club to help push it on and basically do certain works around, which we'll not really go into too much detail of what work's getting done, but you'll see it all getting done when it's finished off. Regarding the new pitch, it's been talked about already. It's going to be a game changer for us. As I say, we've lost so many games this season regarding waterlogged pitch, things like that there. The league's basically been all over us. So for an investment point of view, it's going to be a game changer for the club. I might as well mention the second pitch. No doubt somebody's going to bring it up in a question, so I might as well get it out there now. The second pitch, it's been basically, it's still in our thoughts. We're still talking about doing it, but we're taking it week by week to see where we are regarding basically the league starting and what the league has to say. Because I think basically we put the second pitch down the bottom, then we can keep the whole basically community together as one. All our teams can train together in the one area, or most of the teams, 99% of them, because there's a lot of teams, 50 teams to train every week. It's a lot of basically organisation to do. But overall, as I was saying, is the club's moving in the right direction. Without your fans, of course, what you're doing, assisting us behind the scenes, basically being there for the GoFundMe, things like that there, wouldn't be where we are now. But all we want is basically the support to keep behind us and keep believing what we're doing. We don't know where the league's starting, as basically been said before by Greg, but all we can just do is all we're doing is speaking to the National League every week and trying to get an update off them, but who knows? Fingers crossed. In my head, it's going to start in September. I believe basically things are starting to settle down around Europe. It's going to follow into the UK, and I think we're 2 or 3 months away. I still really do feel that basically we might get some football played back in September, back into the year. That's where I am. But overall, there's not much to say. I'm happy to take any questions after basically the claps, so I don't think we've got much time. So do you want to go back on to that, Greg?
Yeah, I can do. I mean, I'll just say, I can see your questions coming in. We're not going to get Alan Brazil, I don't think. I think that's a bit much to ask. Although Jamie can give it a go, he could probably still give us 10 minutes or so. But if you can type your questions in for when we come back, we'll take a break now, do the clap. I'm going to stay here and clap. And we'll make sure that we pick off some questions as soon as you come back. We'll carry on for 30, 40 minutes or so after that. Get back here about 5 past at the latest, and we'll pick up those questions and see what we can answer for you. Thank you very much, folks. Rich, we'll take everybody off mute for a bit, just to allow us to clap and for people to go and refresh themselves, get more beer, go and clap, go to the toilet, have a haircut. I don't know.
Haircut. But yeah.
Yes, darling.
Yeah, we've got up to 100, Greg.
100, brilliant.
Yeah.
I noticed James asked how he can mute me, which is a bit harsh, mate.
Yes. Oh dear. Yeah, I think we'll take 100, won't we?
Definitely.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah.
Nicky, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, of course you can.
Are you getting commission off basically Slatters for doing so much advertising online for them? I thought I'd ask that question.
I got an instruction from your number 2, Alex, that I had to include them in all tweets. So blame Mr. Morrissey.
You're doing a great job. Just keep it going. Yeah, how do you ask that question for some reason? Not right, Rob?
Thank you for that, but listen, Alex is your man.
I know that. I know that. Basically, it was the best thing. We'll have to do that there is show loyalty to them.
Just to get them into the conversation.
Your haircut suits you. I like your haircut.
Yeah, we're doing. So that'll be down.
Greg, when do we start clapping?
About, I don't know. I can only see it's 1959. I'm going to start clapping at 8 o'clock. Can you see it on your laptop, Nick?
What, my laptop's at 8 o'clock. Apparently,
Why aren't you clapping then?
Any second. Right, Greg's clapping.
Off you go.
Going out the street.
When you're going to have the boys.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
How long do you actually clap for?
Well, I did a solid minute, and then my hand started to hurt.
I did 30 seconds outside, and it's freezing.
Okay, well, you know, I think
And your partner's not clapping.
I think you can stop, Nick.
Good that you started again, mate. Well done. Seeing some questions coming in, some good ones. I think I might struggle to answer them, so I'll pass them out to the guys.
Kim Costa. Hello, Steve.
Hello, Nick.
How are you?
Not bad, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm very good, mate. Have you been here the whole time?
I have, yes.
So how come you've never ended up on page 1?
It's
Dunno,
promotion. It's called promotion, Nick.
Oh, what page? Come and join the
You down there, Steve. You need a haircut, mate. I'll be round with my clippers later. How's that?
Yeah, I think I'd bother you.
£28 from Amazon.
I don't trust myself to do it.
I'll give everybody a couple more minutes. Anybody who's on and wants to ask a question, type it in to the chat, please.
Gary Bott, that's some beard, mate.
It's proper, isn't it?
You're about 7 months too early for the gig.
Gary, you look like Jesus, mate.
Hey, I'm trying, Joe. I'm trying, mate.
Gary, there's a robin nesting in the bottom of that, isn't there, mate?
There's a what?
There's a robin nesting in the bottom of that.
There's a little bit of food in there. I'll have that later.
Bye.
Cheers, guys.
Hello, Matt. How are you?
Good, Chris.
All right with days, thank you.
Some good questions coming in. Keep them coming, folks. Type them into that chat. We'll get going in another couple of minutes. I'm going to avoid any questions we don't like the look of.
Nothing new there, then.
Richard, can you hear me?
Yes.
Have we had any aliens try to join our chat?
No.
Good. Richard knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do, yes.
One more minute and we'll get going.
Yeah.
Stuart Gibbs. Were those photos okay?
They were brilliant. Thank you, Nikki.
You're very welcome.
As always.
Private photos you're taking for him, Nicky.
Yeah.
Stuart and I did a private
time.
It's something you want to tell us, Stuart?
Not really.
Share with the group, mate. Share with the group.
New range of swimwear.
That's quite. It's been an interesting 9 weeks. In fact, I've probably seen more people from Baruki Town than most of the people on the call to us here.
That's probably true. Right, let's answer some questions then. Rich, if we put everybody on mute again, please, mate.
Yeah, sure, mate.
Right, so quite a few questions. Starting from the top, if the bar can open safely before the season starts, would you consider opening on, say, Saturdays? Correct social distancing, of course. Alex, do you want that one?
I'll take that one. Yeah, too right.
Would you like to elaborate?
Well, as long as the club can keep along with the guidance, which we've tried to follow all the way through. Sounds governmental, but that's what we've tried to be doing. Yeah, the club, everyone, as long as we can do that and do that in a safe manner, it's the home for all the supporters and for what we're building. So if we can do it and do it in a safe manner, then yes, we will do that and we will keep everyone informed.
Top man. With the badge reverting to the traditional version, how do you propose to clear all the merchandise with the Together We Sail as One on them? Blimey. Good point. Who wants that one? Nobody. So Kim, I'm going to pick on you. No, Dave, any ideas, sir?
Yeah, basically, we know that, as I said, the new kit's going ahead with the new badge, which is supported, so that's where we're going down the road. Regarding the club itself, there's a lot of stickers around and basically paintings showing the old logo. So what we'll be doing is just cover them over with transfers with the new logo. But regarding the old stock of kit, then basically, if you want to buy it a little bit cheaper, by all means, we'll sell you the top or something for a little bit of a discount to get rid of them. No, jokes aside, basically, there won't be have much stock left, but going forward, the new badge will be there, and everything in the ground will change to the new badge.
Great stuff. Thanks, Dave. Question from Rob Street. Has a new lease been agreed with Basildon Council? And if so, for how many years? That's definitely one for you, Al.
Okay, so we're in conversations with the council. We have a few previous issues that we need to close out, but all of the information with it is with the council. We've been discussing with the league and the council. We've closed out all the matters. We're just waiting finalised that with the council, and the league have already, the council have already sent an email to the league confirming that their intention is to agree a new lease with the club for a minimum period of 20 years. We're trying for a period of 25 years.
Okie dokie, thanks, Al.
Okay.
Question from Ben Mapp. When can we expect to be seeing a retained released list? Difficult one, certainly in terms of, well, actually, I think, Jamie, you answered part of this, didn't you, mate?
Yeah, in terms of players that we retained, obviously the contracted boys, Ron Henry, Doug Loft, Jake Robinson and Alan Julian will be at the club next season. We are in negotiations with a few of the other players to stay on board again for next season. But in terms of a retained list and a let go list, it's really difficult to kind of put that out yet because we're still up in the air in terms of.
Hello? I think we're still up in the air, basically.
I'm a bit there, Greg, but
we're up in the air and so far away that we've lost Wi-Fi. But you know, to echo what Jamie's saying, you know, it is difficult times because nobody's really sure when the season's going to start again. You know, talking to players is one thing, and I know that Jamie and others are talking to players, but getting them to commit when there's no actual start date is difficult because a lot of players will keep their options open. So, you know, I think it's going to take a little while longer than normal this season, but obviously as soon as we can, we'll get back to that, and hopefully Jamie will reappear at some point shortly.
I'm happy to say a few words, Greg. I mean, the reality is, I mean, there's this huge amount of debate with salary caps in League One and League Two and potential ramifications for Conference South, Conference North. I mean, you know, squad size reduction in League One and League Two, which will, you know, permanent players down into the lower divisions. There's a tremendous number of moving parts, and I have a lot of sympathy for Jamie at the moment in terms of trying to build a squad because we don't know what player availability is going to be like. We don't know when football's going to restart, and we don't know what the new market for players' wages is going to be. So it's I understand the fans want to know, you know, who's going to be in the squad next year, and I, as a fan, would like to know that too. But there are a hell of a lot of moving parts right now.
Thanks, Nick. Dave, this is one coming your way from Martin Rands. Realistically, can the club operate financially at Conference South level, playing games in empty stadiums?
Well, I'd say no. At the end of the day, basically, a lot of revenue comes in across the gate, basically from selling merchandise, etc. We won't be the only team who'll give you that answer to their fans. But at the end of the day, we just have to follow the league and what they have to say. And is there any help available? If it is an empty stadium, then it's every week we're chasing them to get us some direction. But the answer to that there in my head will be no. It'll have to be subsidised. It won't be able to run itself if it has to happen. But all we can just do is see what the league says and follow the government guidelines.
Thank you. James asked why I haven't got a photo of Jamie behind me. That's because he's not achieved what this man did, and when he does, I'll replace Brian Clough with Jamie, no problem. From John M. Apart from the 4 contracted players, will any of last season's squad be re-signed? I don't know if Jamie's rejoined us or not, but basically, as he said, I think we are talking to some of last season's squad. They weren't contracted. That was just a simple fact of paper that was signed. But there are some that I know he'd like to keep. And so, you know, in the same way as we'll be talking to new players, we'll be talking to some of them. And I'm sure that some of them will stay.
Greg, I'm speaking to a few of the players at the moment. There's a lot of players who are very, very keen to stay at Billericay because they believe of what we're doing and where we're going as a club, especially with the youth development coming through, things like that there. So we are talking to players, but as rightfully has been said already, in the 31st of this month, a lot of players will come available from other clubs. So players are keeping their options open, and so is the club. Because at the end of the day, there's no use of saying a player for a certain amount of money, which can get a better player for that same money. But so every option is getting kept open for the best of the club. That's where we are.
Okay, I'm going to stick with you, Dave, if you don't mind. Question from Mike Pearson. What are the plans for new players? With less money knocking around, can we not use agents?
Basically, I don't think we need an agent, because at the end of the day, as Billericay is a club with Jamie's contacts, we know what we've got at the end of the day. So people want to come to us. People want to basically play for us. So we're a pretty big club at the level we're at. So as I said before, we're pretty confident with the budget we're going to put out there that we will get the players that we want and the level of players we want.
Okay, thank you. This next one for either Nick or Rob, just to keep Rob awake. Will we be Jamie's back, hooray! Will we be considering renting the new pitch out to the other clubs similar to Aveley for extra income? Nick? Rob?
It's definitely one for Nick.
Yeah, I'll take it. I don't think as a club we want to be like Aveley, like rent a pitch for games. So I think in reality, on particularly on Sundays, there's enough internal demand from the ladies section and the under 18s and Eastern Junior Alliance teams in the Colts, such that we don't need to go externally to rent the pitch for people to play matches. That said, if we go ahead with the second community pitch, I think we have potentially slightly more bandwidth for training facility than we need across the 50 teams in the under our umbrella. So we may look to rent training space to other clubs. We've had one or two clubs in the area ask for almost exclusivity on any training slots that we don't use internally. And certainly my strong preference is to deal with as few customers as we can, so that we're not a sort of rent a pitch or rent a training slot. And anybody that wants to rent a training slot in the new facility will be asked to rent that slot for the duration of the season. So we're considering a minimum rental period of 33 weeks because we want the people that come and use our facility to respect our facility. My concern is if you just rent out a half hour here, an hour there, that people come, they don't respect the facility, they maybe damage our goals, etc. We have had a lot of interest from six-a-side leagues. So I'll tell you, we are talking to leisure leagues about them using the pitch for six-a-side league. And the good thing with those guys is they want to use the pitch at a time when most people don't want to use the pitch. So specifically things like Sunday evenings, Monday evenings, when there's not a lot of internal demand for training, etc. So we're working through it. The reality is that we will, the pitches are a big investment, but absolutely the right thing for the club to do. But we do need to maximise the rental income from those facilities to repay the cost of that capital investment, but equally to hopefully generate additional revenue that can potentially increase the budget for the playing staff.
Thanks, Nick. Question that's going to come to Kim first and then Jamie. What are we aiming to achieve next season in terms of league placings? Kim?
For us, I think we were competing for top spot this season, and sadly it come to an end. But I think the ambition for us is to actually be going to win the league, get into the playoff and get into tier 3.
Thanks, Kim. Jamie?
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's going to be in terms of recruiting. If I can recruit the players that we're all after, then I think promotion is definitely on the cards. I think that's where we want to be. As a football club, we want to get it into the National League, so that's what we're pushing for. I wouldn't want to be part of a management team that are just, trying to stay in the league. And I don't think that's where we are, and I don't think that's what our plans are. So in terms of the team that we're going to try and put together, it will be one that looks for promotion.
Thanks, Jamie. Chris Hall says, is the mural going? Actually, as part of the management committee, the one management committee meeting we managed to have before lockdown, we talked about the mural. We looked at it in great detail, some sections more than others. Decided there were a couple of sections, and you can probably guess which ones they are, that we do want to replace. We've got an artist looking at that at the moment in terms of how to amend those two different areas. And then in the same way as we might have painted over some other aspects of the club, we may well be doing that pre-season. So that'll be something to look forward to, and we'll tell you more about that as we go through the kind of close season period. Has the audio system been upgraded on the main stand? Alex? Have you noticed I give you all the crappy questions, Alex?
What was that last one?
Has the audio system been upgraded in the main stand?
Not as yet, but the plans are over the summer when we're doing the pitch that we will. There's speakers, etc. in place, but we do need to do a little bit of work just to make sure that the audio from the main stand underground.
Thank you. It is something that comes up. I know it came up in the last fans forum.
Yeah, this season we had a problem with the old one. It was stripped out, so we updated that to make sure that we could get it at least out the speakers. And yeah, over the summer we will improve it and make sure that it spreads around the ground.
Okie dokie. Kim, one for you. With the possibility of some women's teams struggling to continue next season in the higher leagues, are the club in a position to apply to play in a higher tier?
Sorry, I do apologise.
Kim's frozen.
You cut out in the middle. Could you repeat that?
With some women's teams in higher leagues not continuing next season, are we in a position to apply to play in a higher tier?
Good question. I think we're just actually waiting for updates from the Women's FA. Who knows? It's a little bit of the unknown. And I'm sure if there was an opportunity, then that is something that we would explore. But at the current moment, we're just actually waiting to get updates from the Women's FA about where the standings are. So
it's a good question, though, isn't it?
Very good question.
And thank you to Mark for that one. Certainly, it's something we'll be keeping an eye on, as Kim said. Andy Butt says the old badge kit. Sure, Boots for Africa would be grateful for any donation. I hear you, brother. We'll certainly keep that in mind. John Lynn, do we have any thoughts on admission season ticket prices for next season, please? Oh, Alex put his hand up.
Yeah, I'll take that because I couldn't find the mute button. I guess next season and season tickets, etc., all depends around where and when we can have fans in the ground. There could be the possibility that the season starts without us being able to fans. It may be the possibility that we can only have a certain amount of fans in the ground up until a certain point in the season, etc. So I think when it comes to season tickets, it's hard to gauge that. All I would say, I'm part of the consortium. I work for the 4 owners of the club when it comes to it, but I know those guys put a lot into the club, etc. And hopefully when football comes back for everyone, we get really good crowds. And I know the guys that I'm working for will spread that around the cost of the club, etc. So there's too many questions we can't answer at the moment when it comes to setting those targets. But it would be definitely knowing the guys and the guys I'm working for, it'll be on a level where it supports that they want to come to watch football, and we can put a decent enough team out on the field that people want to come and watch with everything around it and the under 23s and 18s coming in. So it's not a question we can answer right now. But I would suggest that I'm working for that it'll be at the right levels in the league and be right to suit that everyone can come back and watch football.
Okay, no problem. Thanks, Alex. Richman says, with the new pitch and increased usage, are there plans for new parking facilities for the club, as it always gets very busy along the main roads on match days? Rob?
The short answer is yes. There were some very positive discussions with the cricket club prior to COVID. it's pretty common knowledge, I think, that perhaps the relations had soured a little bit towards the end under the previous tenure. We've certainly, reopened those, lines of conversation. They're receptive. Certainly, if we were to proceed with the second pitch, which, as David and Nick mentioned, is certainly in our thoughts, but something we can't guarantee at this stage, we would certainly look to utilise a partnership with the cricket club and the parking facility they have there. This is the main car park, for those who know the cricket club, the one that sits next to the tennis club. In extreme times, there's also an overflow car park at the bottom end of the cricket club as well, which they'd be willing to let us use. So the short answer is yes.
Thanks, Rob. From Brian Breslow, does the club accept foreign trialists, i.e. from the US? I think, assuming that they've quarantined for 14 days on coming in. I don't know whether Jamie's got anything to, or Rob or anybody got anything to add to that, but I don't see why not.
I can answer that to the best of my ability in terms of the problem you've got with signing someone from overseas is the work permit that they will need to get and the passport. So unless you've got a British passport, it's very difficult to sign a player at this level to play for the club unless they've been already playing in the country for a certain period of time. But if it's a new player from America, it probably wouldn't be able to happen.
Okay, thanks, Jamie. From Nick Sherwood, guys, are there any plans for perhaps an electronic stadium scoreboard with space for match timing? There's been some nice examples the guys have seen on their travels from Slough to Tonbridge. I mean, the answer is no, because we haven't talked about it. But it's one of those things which I think we need to get the ground sorted first in terms of the pitches. But those are the kind of things that we will undoubtedly discuss going forward. So I'll log that one, Nick, if I may, and we'll duck it for now. From Dawn Morris, no, it's not. It's from Nick Morris, not Dawn. Is there an opportunity to allow online ticket sales on the day of matches to reduce queues on match days? Kim?
Have to apologise to everybody because my internet keeps stalling. So was that something to do with extending online ticket purchase?
Yes, onto match days to reduce the queues.
Yeah, that's something that we can liaise with the ticketing people on, and it's something I know that we would actually look to explore because it would actually only help us on match days. So that's a massive positive. So yes, we can pick that one up.
Thank you. That's a definite yes.
Yeah.
We'll definitely explore that. Are we stepping up security in view of last year's vandalism?
Take that one.
I'll take it.
With the pitch improvements, there's additional security being looked at. There'll be reinforcements put in and around the ground for vehicular access around the ground. And we will be reviewing the whole of CCTV, which currently is pretty good, but we will be reviewing that over the next 4 weeks to potentially upgrade that with additional cameras.
Thanks, Alex. I mean, there have been, as many people know, incidents around the cricket club this weekend. So not this weekend, but over the last couple of weeks. Yeah. So it's definitely something we need to be looking at. Final question I can see at the moment. So if anybody's got other questions, now's a good time to put any in. But it's a good question to end on if we need to. So is the sweet shop staying open? Everybody is nodding. Everybody who's got us voting this.
I hope so.
Yeah. I think undoubtedly that sweet shop is not moving. So that's a yes. Okay, so that's the questions that I can see that people have typed in. We've got a couple of minutes left if anybody wants to come off mute and ask one online. That seems like a resounding no. There is a suggestion we rename the sweet shop as the Glen Tamplin Sweet Shop.
Or there's one coming?
Have we spoken to any league teams about a friendly from Mike Pearson? That's a good question.
There are talks with clubs about pre-season friendlies, but we can't guarantee anything at the minute because we don't know when we're going to come back. So there is a 6-week preparation for our pre-season with our new sports scientists and with our new team that we'll be putting together. We'll have a 6-week pre-season, and we hope that we will be able to have pre-season games. And there's a whole host of clubs who want to play against us, and we've got to pick the right ones that suit our preparation for the upcoming season. But in terms of when that will be, we don't know.
Okay. Thanks, Jamie. Dave, do you want to close on anything?
No, basically, I think there's some good questions asked there, but what we'll do is just keep following. I'll just suggest follow the Twitter pages, the social media. We're giving you updates every day of what the progress is with the club. And I says we'll have another forum. When's the next forum you're talking about, Greg? Will it be a month's time?
It's not organised yet, but we can do it if we want to see how this one went. I think it's been pretty good. We'll organise one for, say, a month's time, 5 weeks' time. I'll make sure that's available to people on social media so everybody gets to hear about it in good time. I'd like to thank you all for attending. We may even be able to, now we've got this going, even when we're able to get back in the clubhouse, actually have both going so that people that can't make it on the night because of work or whatever can tune in from home. But you know, there are lots of good things happening. I think we've had a fairly negative period all round in life generally. We are starting to come out of that now, and the football club is going to be there ready to go as soon as we're able to do that, and it'd be good to see everybody back down there. In the meantime, a thanks from all of us to the Ricky Town. Stay safe, look after each other, and thanks for joining tonight.
Thanks, guys.
Take care, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Stay safe and well.
Take care, people.
Cheers, people. Look after yourselves.
Dropping like flies.
Right. We all staying? Who's going to the bar?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going till Alex goes.
It's like an actual fans forum because I can't get to the bar.
Oh, mate, you've got to bring your bar with you.
Genius.
That was really good.
Is everyone happy with that?
Yeah, I don't have to now. I don't have to worry about getting home now.
You can all stay on if you wish and have a chat. That's cool.
Yeah, we've got to wait until the management are gone so we can badmouth them.
Well, I can't work out and turn this off, boys, so you're stuck with me for a while.
You should still leave. They want us to leave so they can all talk about us, mate.
Yeah,
You're all pissed off then.
Right, you can stay.
I would say one more thing just to finish up, guys and girls. You know, Dave was quite right in what he said about, you know, is it viable in the current format to the National League to continue with no supporters? It's not in its current format, but I want to be really clear. Day one of that football season, we will have a competitive team on that football pitch. You know, between us as owners, I can assure you, you know, we haven't come this far to, you know, throw the towel in. So we're looking forward to day one, and we'll. You know, we've had a lot of things thrown at us this year, or under our ownership, and we've dealt with those. And there's too many good people in this club for us to not continue in that vein. All right, so rest assured, come day one, we'll be aiming for promotion for sure.
Yeah, if you look at Concord Rangers, you can see that you can operate without any fans.
Yeah. There you go. That's
good comment. But all I'll say, guys, is, you know, working with the guys a few weeks, the club's set up. We're in contact. We all get contact from different clubs, etc. And we're in a good club. And one thing we have got with the 4 owners that we've got around us is we've got a club that is getting near to sustainability. hopefully, if things continue on next year, we'll be sustainable with the pitches they're bringing in, and we'll have a competitive squad. We've got a good management team, and fair play to the owners of the club. You know, they've got the best interests at heart, and we, no matter what happens over the next 12 months, we've got the good guys around us to make sure this club can keep going, and that means a lot. You know.
I was saying is, Alex, following Alex here, the club will sustain. It'll be there for the long term. But the key is basically getting the fans through the gates. If any other club says differently, we need the fans through to basically help balance the books. It's as simple as that there.
Massive.
We're on that.
Yeah.
But the key is basically, just see when the league's going to start. We will be competitive next season, whatever happens, because let's be honest, we'll all be in the same even keel as the rest of the teams around. So I'm pretty confident. We're giving Jamie the full backing what he needs with his new management team. We will be going forward. Definitely want to be pushing for promotion. That's what we're after.
It's almost like a new club, isn't it? Yeah, it's got a new club feel about it now. I know we're a historic club and goes back a long way, but there's such a good positive buzz with you guys leading the way. Yeah, the future's looking pretty good.
No, I think, Joe, I wouldn't say it's a new club, I'd say it's a new start.
Yeah.
And we all respect the history of the club, and we're all, been part in different ways of the history, but it's a fresh start for the club.
Right, that's what I meant, yeah.
It's a long history, as you know, we've always described ourselves as just the current custodians of the club, and that's the way we think about things.
Well, a lot of us remember what it was like 5 or 6 years ago, and just the difference now, even going forward in the last few months, is massive. 5 or 6 years ago, the club was not tumbled down. The atmosphere wasn't too great. It wasn't that positive, and now it's massively different. It's so impressive. Loving it. Just need to get back there now.
Yeah, but James, you have to basically look at the old regime as well. You have to thank people like Glenn.
We do. We really do. He took it forward, but yeah, he took us to almost this level, really, and now we've got to take it on again.
Well,
no one's under an illusion what he did for us. So.
No, Glenn's done a very good job, basically, of putting it together. What he's put the infrastructure in there. Of course, we're bringing a club forward a different way, what we believe is better for the community, for the fans, and for everybody around. As I say, the most important thing is it's a community club. We keep stressing it's a community club, not just a football club. And so we get these two, the whole facility together with the Colts, the ladies, the 18 and 23s, and the first team all playing under the same banner. As I said before, it's a game changer for the town as well as the football club.
Exactly, yeah. And that was sort of my point. Is it's great to see the town involved, and especially with what the street pasties have been doing with the food. It's just opened it up that much wider. Even though the club's been closed, if you like, for all the work that's going on, there's not a day goes by that BTFC is out there and social media, and all in a positive way. It's just great to see all the positive stuff that's happening.
Joe, do you think it's a bit overkill at times? Because sometimes we sort of look at it and think, are we doing too much on social media? Are we bombarding people?
Only all these people on Twitter with the different names. But no, I think it's not negative. And as long as stuff isn't negative, and people don't respond back and say, I've never heard anybody say it's too much, because it's all good stuff that's happening. It's not bad stuff, and so it's everything. I genuinely believe that everything that the club is doing, and that's working with pastors, working with Billy Ricky Roundtable, whoever, and the other groups, it's every single thing is positive. There's no negativity whatsoever, and that comes from players' comments that are on Twitter, interacting with the supporters. It's all really positive stuff. And when you look at other clubs, not a million miles away from us, they're in turmoil with each other, and it's great for us supporters having been down that road, especially with our very local neighbours. It's great to just sit back and not even we don't even need to go and take the mick out of them, because we're so positive in what we're doing. So yeah, just keep it going.
Once again, Joe, if you remember a few years ago, you get no information out of the club all season.
No.
Get blood out of the stone. So anything at the moment, it's been starved of football. You just want to hear anything from the club. And when it is how good everything's going at the moment, I don't think you can have too much.
And that was pre-Glenn. That was before.
Oh yeah, definitely before Glenn. Yeah.
So and it's a much different time, and everybody that's there wants to be there. So, but yeah, long may it live.
I mean, just on behalf of
Club's any club without its people, mate. That's what a club's about.
Yeah.
End of story. And it don't matter who them people are, where they sit within the club. The club's club. And we're lucky we've got owners that respect that, and that's what they're about. So,
yeah,
it's all good.
I just wanted to say on behalf of, all the guys at the food bank, just to say a big thank you, really, because you've made a real difference to. You've made a real difference to the community. I mean, the support has been amazing. The well wishes. It's been good to see you guys each week as well, because it's nice to get. Positive feedback. I think, every time you turn up, we see different people, and we've basically come out of a cupboard at St John's, and now we're spreading over to 2 rooms. So the size of the need, if you like, in Billericay has tripled since we started 9 weeks ago. In terms of today was I think our 300th delivery, so we've got sort of 300 food parcels have gone out now. Just like I say, thanks to Nick particularly for all the support, and we've been getting a large delivery of fresh vegetables and stuff that we can send out each week to the people we look after, because we're trying to give them a balanced diet as well, because you can only eat so many tins of beans and so many cans of tomato soup. So giving them the extra fresh stuff and fresh fruit has been a real sort of blessing for us. So. Yeah, just thank you for that, and we just trying to work our way forward as well as regards where do we go next in terms of community growth, because we're not going to go back into the cupboard, so those things are really exciting, and we're just blessed that we could be part of the community response along with you guys. So thank you.
No, I think on that, Stuart, I'll give you a call in terms of what we do next. I wanted to come and see you today, but unfortunately it wasn't possible. But I think what you and Phil and Jim and others do down there is unbelievable. You're the guys who really deserve the credit.
That's really kind of you, but I was going to say, it's just a big team, really, and you're part of that. Nikki coming taking the pictures, and and Rob coming each week, Kim coming down to show her support. So, just those things just really matter a great deal. And I think, so say for the community as a whole, I mean, we look out over the green in Outwood Common, and something that struck me the other night was, you've got quite a large group of youngsters sort of standing around not doing a great deal. And, things like how do we sort of tap into that local community thing and give those youngsters something to do. And I think the football club could play a big part in those sort of things. And to be honest, there's so much going on at the moment. Community stuff seems to be obviously really top of the list in everyone's, sort of agenda at the moment from government. We're getting calls from Basel and Council on a regular basis from different sort of types of initiatives saying, can we get involved and stuff like that. We go on calls with Essex County Council each week, who sort of come up with ideas and stuff. I mean, one of the big issues could possibly be this sort of summer is the fact that, youngsters have been out of school for a long time. We're heading towards summer holiday. Families may not have any money to be able to pay to buy the food for the kids because, they've not been getting the support they need. They won't get free meals during the summer holiday. So it's just those sort of things that we're trying to look at and see how we can, use or how we could, we obviously with the money you guys have raised, what we can do with that and how we can really bless our community with that. So yeah, we're just trying to think those things through.
No, it's a really interesting point, Stuart, because clearly the furlough is going to come to an end as well. So it could be a real cliff edge for a lot of local families in terms of, as you say, suddenly having to, feed all the kids, no furlough payments coming in. So if anything, there's a strong argument that actually we need to up the effort. But as I said, I'll give you a call probably tomorrow and we can discuss how we can
brilliant.
Continue to work together.
Thank you.
Rather than have a second pitch, could we just convert it to an allotment?
It's looking like one now, to be honest. It's 4,000
up at the end of the season.
tons of earth on it at the moment.
Brilliant.
I can just see us down there on a Sunday morning.
It's not a bad idea though.
I won't be tired anybody who doesn't play well on the Saturday then. Find them.
Put a whole new swing on turnip head, eh?
Very good, Joe.
Good stuff.
Okay. Are we okay, yeah? Anything other questions from anybody? No? They've been cool. Good. I enjoyed that. I thought it was very positive tonight. Yep. I think we definitely push on in about 4 weeks' time, Greg, for another one.
Mm.
Forward and went. And there's about
he's still online. He's still online.
Over 100 people tonight, so that's really good going.
Yeah, it's nice to see so many people, Joe. It really is.
Even you, mate.
Good to see you too as well, Joe. Keep taking the medication, Joe.
I think he needs to double the dose.
Oh, 2, right?
Oh God, they're getting me to sample their gluten-free icing.
Oh.
I'm your man for icing.
Brilliant.
Good.
The only downside is I've now got to get another flag because the one I've got has got the old badge on it. And I've just bought 2 bloody shirts with his badge on.
Oh, mate, do you know what?
Count yourself lucky. There's about 100 of them bloody badges around the ground. We've got to get rid of them.
Alex, you're going to do a deal.
If you invite those Hammett down for pre-season, those pricks put their stickers over them all.
You're going to do a deal for all these double XL old style shirts now.
We'll do something, but don't worry about it.
Don't feel
all them badges. I've got to order a load of new transfers with a new badge to cover half the stadium up, so it'll be fine.
So one go over this.
But you're gonna love the new kit, guys. I'm telling you, the new kit is something special.
No. At this point, we're going to play it down, so we have to drop the price.
Yeah, but when we went through the options with the new kit, etc., and fair play to the owners because there are a lot of badges together as sell as one, and they were like, "No, it doesn't matter. We need to make sure the badge is how the supporters feel." So fair play to the owners. They went, let the supporters and the people around the club choose the badge, and we'll deal with that later. So, yeah.
Nice one.
If you look, Alex, I'm never changed mine.
Tight, Flint.
I actually like the fact that you've got a V-neck. I prefer V-neck as it goes.
Thanks, Joe. Well, this is.
Yeah, I know.
It's funny because the Colts never changed the badge.
I know previously for all you guys with the kit, it was a case of you were promised that it would be the same kit for 2 or 3 years with the supporters, etc. But the reason why we're changing it isn't commercially based. It's because while we link the ladies, the men's, the Colts, etc. together, we've got over 50 teams. We found the Colts, the ladies, certain teams are playing different kits. What we want, and thankfully we're lucky because Nick and Greg as the Colson ladies have agreed, all teams throughout this club will now play in the same kit from top to bottom.
Makes perfect sense.
They're going to get a lot used to
And,
it. Should they get one each set?
well, we've done a 3-year contract, so the kit will be pretty similar with the same Puma will supply the kit for the next 3 years throughout the clubs. So I think that's a great move. And I think it's great that the kids will play and the ladies will play in exactly the same colours as the first team. And that's what the new consortium always said from the beginning, what we're trying to do. So it's not a commercial decision. It's more, as a club, we're one identity.
Yeah. And if you're bringing the club together, then that's
yeah.
You could say
and
we're
we
saying
spoke about it
together as well.
Yeah, and as a board, well, we won't do that now. James, leave it out, mate. Behave.
We play together as one.
Yeah, but it needs to be that it's synergy throughout, which is what the new owners were about from the beginning, and they've stuck to that. And I know there was promises made before because I was there when it was made about the kit throughout the club to make the club as one, and that was the decision from the owners was based upon that, not a commercial decision.
Yeah,
and that's why
I'm enjoying watching the sun go down over Rob's right shoulder there. It's quite a scenic.
It's a thing of beauty.
It is.
Can you see that?
All round to Rob's next week for the fans forum, yeah?
More than
Social
welcome.
distancing, I'm
More
sure
than
he's got
welcome.
enough area. We'll be all right.
Don't go yet. She's got plans for painting for me.
Oh, shit.
Oh, dear. All right, folks. Anyway, I'm going to drop off. Good night to you all. Good to see you. God bless.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah, Greg.